slideshow.
Okay.
I'll just explain you how can you activate naive and effector T cell. This is very difficult to get it alone. It's hard, and it has a lot of clinical consequences. You cannot understand autoimmunity, immune tolerance, tumor immunity. So if you can, please listen to me 30 minutes. After it, in 15 minutes, I will go through the slideshow, just to pick what is difficult, but I didn't mention you till this moment, okay? 30 minutes, if you listen to me, it's simple, alone to learn it, it's not too easy, I think. So at the beginning, first, tell me what's the difference, what you know about the effector and naive T cell. What's the difference between naive and effector? Naive is still haven't met with the antigen. How can you activate a naive T cell? How can you activate an effector? Okay, so naive T cell can be activated only by dendritic cell. And where? Only in the lymph node, in the secondary lymphatic organs. Okay, that's what you know. Naive, only by dendritic cell, only in the lymph nodes. How is the effector T cells?
Soluble immunoglobulins?
No. Immunoglobulins is not for T cells. How can you activate an effector T cell which recognize intracellular antigen? MHC1 is expressed in all the nucleated cells. So who can activate the effector T cell? All the cells, all the nucleated cells, anywhere in the body. Okay? So naive T cell can be activated only by dendritic cell, only in the lymph node, effector T cell, anywhere in the human body by any cell. So what will happen if we have a somatic cell, any hepatocyte, and we have a naive T cell? This cell has an MHC1, present a peptide. This T cell is specific. Okay, so out of the million T cell, this one is the specific who recognize this MHC peptide complex. What will happen here? Naive T cell, somatic cell.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, be brave and tough. That's the most important sentence today. In this case, nothing will happen. Okay, so we have the specific T cell. This is the only one. Recognize the MHC peptide complex, but nothing will happen. Okay? Believe me. That's why it's hard to learn alone, because nobody wants to believe it. Okay? That's the situation. We have the specific T cell, and nothing will happen. What will happen if we have a dendritic cell? Naive T cell, presentation. In this case, what will happen?
Where is it?
Where is it? Okay, exactly. So in the lymph node, the dendritic cell will activate. In the periphery, it will not activate. How is it possible? What is the technical background? What is the difference between the two situations? The T cell is the same, antigen specific. Here we have somatic, here we have dendritic cell. No idea. Can you guess? How could you solve this problem?
Something inside the lymph node.
Okay. MHC2, but it's MHC1, it's for intracellular protein. This was a very good guess. So one possibility that on the lymph node there are special cytokines, which means that this T cell is in the lymph node. Okay? But not that's the situation. The B cell will utilize this in the next week. The T cell has a special another solution, that the dendritic cell has another receptor, the B7-1, B7-2, is the same, just different receptors but with the same function. And the T cell can recognize it by the CD28. Okay. These receptors are expressed only on the dendritic cells. Okay? And the naive T cell requires two signals. One came from the TCR, one came from the co-stimulator, CD28. B71, B72. Okay. So the naive T cell can be activated only by two signals. It's clear? Okay. So what will happen in the periphery? What will happen in the periphery with the dendritic cell? If the dendritic cell is not in the lymph node, what will be the difference between the left side and the right side? We have dendritic cell, specific T cell, but in the skin, in the liver,
Nothing happened.
here nothing will happen. Dendritic cell can activate only in the lymph node. So these dendritic cells can express the co-stimulatory molecule. No, mustn't express. What would happen if a somatic cell can activate a naive T cell in the skin?
Just the autoimmune disease there, inflammation.
What if this cell expresses a viral peptide? We have a naive T cell in the skin and recognize it. What will happen? Or what will not happen?
It's not activated.
But imagine, it's activated. Is it good for us?
No.
Why not?
Is that a somatic cell?
It's a somatic cell, and the naive T cell is
It
activated
meant
by
it escaped
in the
the
skin.
T, then it's self-reactive.
No, it's a viral. It's a viral peptide. Just
Without peptides.
viral peptide. What would happen with the T cell? What cannot do the T cell in the skin, in the periphery?
Replication?
Cannot proliferate.
Yeah, yes.
T cell proliferation requires the lymph node, the secondary lymphatic organ.
Yes.
So if this T cell is activated in the skin, then we have only one specific T cell, which is not enough.
Cannot do it.
Okay? So it must ensure that the activation must happen in the lymph node. Okay? So in the periphery, the dendritic cell has no co-stimulatory molecule. So in this case, nothing will happen. So what will happen? What will happen with the dendritic cell when go to the lymph node? Why will go a dendritic cell to the lymph node? To present the antigen, but why start to present an antigen?
To activate
What
the T cell.
To activate the T cell, but when will it go to the lymph node? All the time, dendritic cell just go to the lymph node.
High end until you'll...
No, the dendritic cell just go to the lymph node anyhow, by high endothelial or by lymph or anyhow, just get there. But when start to go there?
You have got the
When recognize a pathogen. How can a DC recognize a pathogen?
HT.
No.
No.
Palms.
So by PRR receptor dendritic cell in the periphery recognize an antigen, and that's why move to the lymph node. Okay? It takes about 1 day to get to the lymph node. And what will happen during this day? 3 things will happen, not just one. Why will it go to the lymph node, exactly to the lymph node, and not to the brain?
Why or how?
Why? Why and how?
To find the naive T cells to activate.
To find the naive T cell, but how? Cytokine.
Chemo.
Not cytokine. So it starts to express the CCR7 chemokine receptor. CCR7 is the same chemokine receptor, but the naive T cell express. Okay, so the naive T cell and the T cell go to the same point of the human body, because both of them express this chemokine receptor. Okay? So recognize the antigen by PRR, start to express the chemokine receptor, that's why move to the lymph node. Okay? And during this way, start to express the B7 and start and increase the expression of the MHC molecule. Okay? So here, in the periphery, the dendritic cell is a phagocytic cell. Recognize the pathogen, eat the pathogen. In the lymph node, the dendritic cell is an antigen-presenting cell to activate the naive T cell. Okay? Immature and mature dendritic cells are practically absolutely different. It's a phagocytic, it's an antigen-presenting cell.
So the main job is the phagocytosis in the
In the periphery? Yeah. and antigen presentation in the lymph node. Okay, to summarize it, the naive T cell can be activated only by dendritic cell, only in the lymph node, because the activated dendritic cells express the co-stimulatory molecule. Okay? Nobody else in the human body, mostly the dendritic cell. Professional antigen presenting cell can express, B cell macrophages can express, but practically it's all the time the dendritic cell. Okay, so it's clear? The situation is a bit more complicated. But the essence is okay. So let's see what will happen if we have an effector T cell in the periphery. Yeah. It's not a naive T cell, but an effector T cell. Effector T cell recognizes somatic cell. What will happen in this case? It's not a naive, it's an effector T cell.
What
Okay.
type? What type?
Effector T cell will be activated anywhere by any cell. Okay? So this cell will be activated. So the naive T cell proliferate in the lymph node, go back to the periphery, and any cell can activate it. It's okay?
Yes.
Yes. More or less. So till this moment, I told to you that we have on the dendritic cell, we have the B7, and on the T cell, we have the CD28. So the DC express B7, the T cell express CD28. Okay. The trick, the next trick, that the T cell will express a CTLA4 molecule, and this molecule is a negative co-stimulator. CD28 is positive, CTLA4 is negative. Okay. All the T cell express both of them. Negative co-stimulator, positive co-stimulator. CTLA4 has much higher affinity. So it's strong. This connection is much stronger than this connection. Okay. But the amount of the CTLA4 is very few, is limited. So what will happen if we have in the periphery a dendritic cell and a naive T cell? Can the dendritic cell express CTLA4? No, sorry, the T cell express CTLA4. Can B7 can express the immature dendritic cell? Will express the B7?
Yes. No?
The immature will express very few of them. Yeah? Nothing or very few. These very few will react with which co-stimulatory molecule?
CTLA4.
CTLA4 because that's much stronger.
High affinity, yeah.
What will happen with the T cell?
Not activated.
It's enough. Not activated.
Not activated because there is no more.
It's not only a no reaction, a zero reaction. What will happen here?
Mainly,
It's a negative
Yeah.
co-stimulator. Okay, so it's not just zero. This T cell will be blocked, inhibited very strongly. So what will happen in the self-reactive T cell in the periphery? All the self-reactive T cell will be blocked. Okay. So to start again. Can a dendritic cell present self-antigen, self-peptide? Yes, why not? Okay, so all the dendritic cell will present self-peptide on the periphery. We have a self-reactive T cell. Go there, and what will happen? Inhibited, strongly inhibited. Okay? When the dendritic cell is activated, it starts to express the B7 very strongly. A lot of B7 will go there.
the effect is the B7.
Yeah, the B7, MHC2, and so on. The major dendritic cell meet with the naive T cell. What will happen? At first, it binds to the CTLA4, but the amount of it is limited.
There are
More and more B7, more and more CD28, and it's activated. Okay?
So activation is overcome always.
Overcome, exactly. Overcome is overcome. Okay. So to summarize it once more, naive T cell can be activated only in the lymph node, only by dendritic cell, only by co-stimulatory molecules. It requires two signals, one on the PCR, one through the CD28. Okay, so that to the naive T cell. If any T cell, if a naive T cell are activated in the periphery, then it will get a strong inhibition. So the autoreactive T cell will be inhibited.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So in the periphery, the T cell will be activated. Self-reactive T cells are inhibited by negative co-stimulatory molecule. So till this moment, I spoke to you about the B7 CD28, which activate the T cell, B7 CTLA4, which inhibit the T cell in the periphery. We have two more co-stimulatory molecules.
We did not talk about the effector T cell. We talked about the naive T cell.
Effector T cells do not require co-stimulation. It's one signal is enough for the effector T cell. So PD1 ligand is a negative co-stimulator for the effector T cell. So once the T cell is activated, the PD1 is expressed on the activated T cell because the activated T cells are very dangerous. Can be self-reactive or can be anything. Okay? So that's why that's a break on the activated T cell, on the effector T cell. So just memorize it, PD1 ligand can block the effector T cell. And we have one more. So I stop here. What would you do against tumors? What kind of cells would you use against tumors? Natural killer cell or cytotoxic T cell? Which one is the better one? Why? Cytotoxic, but why? More specific, okay? But that is one more important point, that it has memory capacity. And the tumor can come back or can form metastasis and so on. So the most important cells against tumor are the cytotoxic T cell. All the immune therapy try to force the T cell response. How can we force a T cell response? Technically, again. That's a brand new, these are brand new therapies. One possibility to block the PD1 receptor to neutralize it by monoclonal antibody. In this case, all the effector T cell will be active. Okay? A lot of tumor try to cheat the immune response that express PD1 or any kind of cell. Just start to express PD1, block the T cell response. Okay? But we can block the inhibition. The other possibility that we block the CTLA4, all the naive T cells will be activated. Okay, so these therapies are extremely effective in tumor therapies. These strategies has the best, absolutely the best statistics nowadays. Okay, what we call targeted immune therapy, block the CTLA4 or block the PD1. With this way, we can overactivate the T cell, and the cytotoxic T cell will eradicate the tumor. It's currently extremely expensive. It's 100,000 euro for one treatment, and the effectivity is about 25%. So you can pay 100,000 euro. You have 25% for the success, but it's a very good statistic.
Sounds like old century.
Okay, so co-stimulatory molecules are extremely important to regulate the T cell activation, both in positive, both upregulate or downregulate. We have one more co-stimulatory molecule, what we call that ICOS. Can you remember how can, in the lymph node, how can the activated T cell find the activated B cell?
By recognizing.
Okay, the B cell will express MHC2, present antigen for the T cell. But how can they meet? We have one specific T cell, one specific B cell in the lymph node or in the human body. How can these two cells find each other? Yeah. Okay, the B cell, this B cell recognize the antigen. Okay, the follicular dendritic cell display the antigen for the B cell. This B cell is activated. This T cell is activated because the dendritic cell transported the antigen to the lymph node. But the T cell is activated in the T cell zone, B cell is activated in the B cell zone. How can they find each other? The trick in this way that the T cell start to express the chemokine receptor of the B cells. And that's why we move to the B cell zone. And the B cell express the chemokine receptor of the T cells, move to the T cell zone. And in the middle, they will find each other. Okay. And the B cell can present the antigen. Okay. In this case, the B cell activates the T cell by antigen presentation. The T cell creates a lot of cytokine to activate the B cell. That's great. And here we have another co-stimulatory molecule, the ICOS ligand. And this is important for the T cells to move more into the B cell follicles. And these T cells will differentiate to follicular helper T cell. Can you tell me what's the role of the follicular helper T cell? You know the Th1, Th2, Th17 and the follicular helper.
For isolate switching?
Just to regulate the B cell activation, to induce isotype switch, affinity maturation, and so on. Okay, so we need some T cell in the B cell zone, in the germinal center. Okay, and these co-stimulatory molecules are important for it. The ICOS ligand only between B cells and T cells cannot follow me.
You're so tired.
Hmm?
You're just so tired. You cannot understand what you're saying anymore.
Don't say that, it's not again.
So it was clear that the two cells two cells find each other,
Yes.
and the T cell will move directly in the germinal center,
Yeah.
in the middle of the B cell zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Due to the ICOS ligand, that's all. Okay.
Long potion.
Okay, we need one more.
What was the role of the follicular T cell?
The follicular T cell just to regulate the B cell activation. The Th1 against intracellular pathogen, Th2 against parasite, follicular helper T cell just to regulate the B cell activation.
She stays there, doesn't it?
And there was some older receptor on T cells. We didn't say anything.
No, you don't have to know anything. Okay. So, till this moment, we are here. That we have a naive T cell. Sorry, it's in another dimension. So we have the T cell receptor and we have the CD28. And that's the TCR. For naive T cell. The effector T cell is activated only by the TCR. This signal alone can activate the effector T cell. The two signals together can activate the naive T cells. Okay?
Together, it seems that both should be present.
Both should be function in the same time, in the same cell, in the same time. How can we measure? How can this T cell measure that I have two signals, not one? What is the last step of a normal signal transduction pathway? Just a general signaling pathway.
Amplification.
Activation. Where I am. Activation of a transcription factor. No problem. Okay. So this, the TCR pathway will activate transcription factor 1. The other will activate transcription factor 2. Okay. The two can work together, and if both of them are there, then the IL-2 will be produced. Only when both of them are there. Okay. One alone not enough, two alone not enough. What's the role of the IL-2? There's one role of the IL-2 till this moment.
The activation of the box.
T cell proliferation. Without IL-2, T cell cannot proliferate. So naive T cell in the lymph node can get signal 1, signal 2. Naive T cell in the lymph node produce IL-2. Naive T cell in the lymph node start to proliferate. It's okay?
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Effector T cell do not require, don't want to proliferate. It's activated by one signal.
So TCR are going to activate, at the end, the tissue factor in the
Transcription factor. It's not so clear. It's activated, it's required two signals. So you don't go into details. Here is one more small trick, but it's just small trick. One signal, if we have no co-stimulatory molecule, one signal is enough. So we have an IL-2 receptor on the T cells, but the IL-2 receptor has 3 chains. Okay? And the third chain came only due to this signal, due to the TCR. Okay? So one signal enough to produce the receptor, 2 signal is required to produce the IL-2. Okay? So why is it good that we have one signal to produce the receptor, the TCR signal? Why is it important?
just give the opportunity to
Autocry.
What will happen? The non-specific. This is the specific signal. Yeah, the T cell recognizes the MHC peptides complex. What will happen if the TCR is non-specific?
It is just deactivated by.
There is no receptor. Yeah, no active receptor. So the non-specific T cell cannot be activated. Only the specific T cell, only in the lymph node, only the IL-2 signal. So that's another protection. The non-specific T cell mustn't be activated, it has no receptor. Okay, so that was the first 30 minutes about the co-stimulation. So naive T cells are activated in the lymph node by dendritic cell because the dendritic cell can express co-stimulatory molecules. Okay. These co-stimulatory molecules together with the TCR induce IL-2 expression, and IL-2 is important for the T cell proliferation. Okay, so step by step it's logic. Okay, I will test you. Let's go.
Awesome.
Let's go. So, tell me, we have an infected hepatocyte in the human body. It's expressed a lot of viral protein, peptide. What will happen? We have a specific T cell came here, what will happen?
Finally engulfed by dendritic.
If a T cell recognizes this MHC peptide complex directly, what will happen? Nothing, rebrave, nothing. Okay? A somatic cell cannot activate the naive T cell. Okay? So, what will happen after it?
Maybe it's going to die and then the dendritic cell will.
Okay, perfect. So only the dendritic cell can activate the naive T cell. The antigen must get to the dendritic cell. How can get the virus will alone don't want to go to the dendritic cell? Okay. This cell will die, and the dendritic cell will phagocyte the dead cells. And that's why the virus get to the dendritic cell. Okay, so that's the first trick. The second trick, if this antigen is phagocyted, then it should be presented in MHC1 or 2.
Both of them, MHC1 and 2, with a cross.
Okay, that's what we call cross-presentation. Only the dendritic cell, only the activated dendritic cell can present the phagocyted antigen both to MHC1 and MHC2. Nobody else can do it, only dendritic cell. That's the cross-presentation. Without it, without cross-presentation, intracellular antigen cannot activate naive T cells. Okay? The situation is the same. So the situation is the same with tumors. Tumor cell must die, tumor antigens get to the dendritic cell cross-presented, activate the cytotoxic T cell. So it's again a new and existing tumor therapy that we take out the dendritic cells from the patient, fool it with the tumor antigen, and inject back the dendritic cell to the same person. Okay? And the dendritic cell can present the tumor antigens. It's a very promising strategy. In practice, it's not so good, but still promising. Okay. So that's a cross-presentation. I think that's the most difficult step in immunology. If you can understand it, then you are very good.
I understand that, I don't understand the other shit.
Good. So from now on, I will go step by step, just small sentences, what will be asked in the test, probably. Yeah? Not everything.
Definitely.
So concerning the cytotoxic T cell, how can a cytotoxic T cell kill the target?
Formation of pores.
But we learned two mechanisms.
Making pores.
I cannot hear you.
Pore formation.
Pore formation.
Pore formation by perforin granzyme, okay, or that's one. Or death receptors of fast ion. How is it possible that if a T cell releases the perforin granzyme, kill only the target cell, and the other cell can survive? And so we have a T cell, and surrounding it we have everywhere somatic cell, but it will kill only one of them.
Is there no cell-cell contact?
Is more cells?
Is there no cell-cell contact?
So it's ensured that the perforin granzyme is released only to this direction. Yeah, what we call immunological synapse, where the two cells find each other, yeah, and the perforin granzyme will go only to that direction. So I think it's clear. So what is the fate of the activated T cells? So we have millions of effector T cells. It will kill all the infected cells. What should be the next step? Finish the activation, it's enough. Memory T cell, okay. But we have 1 million specific T cells. Is it most of them will die. 99% will die. That's what we call activation-induced cell death. We don't need the T cells, so it will die in a week. Who will kill the T cell? The activated T cell. The activated T cell. It's a suicide way. The death receptor, fast ligand, is expressed on the 6th day on the T cells, and the T cell will kill each other or itself. Okay? That's activation-induced cell death to remove the non-important, redundant activated T cells. Okay, one small step. You must know it already. Which cell can produce interferon gamma?
And also,
I couldn't hear you. Cytotoxic T cell.
Macrophages. Macrophages.
interferon,
Macrophages.
Which cell can produce interferon gamma?
Macrophages.
Natural killer cell, okay? To have the macrophage to kill the phagocytic pathogen, and Th cell all the time can produce cytokine. Which Th cell can produce interferon gamma? Helper, but which helper? Th1. Th1 against intracellular. In 2 weeks you forget. That's normal. Okay.
2 days, but not 2 weeks.
So all the cells against intracellular pathogen produce interferon gamma, natural killer cell, Th1, and the cytotoxic T cell. Okay, the cytotoxic not just kill the target cell, but produce interferon gamma to boost the immune response against intracellular pathogens. Can you tell me what's the lethal cause of influenza virus or any virus infection? Why will we die? Directly. What's the cause?
using the energy, using the energy of the body.
So a lot of cells will die, but why will these cells die during viral infection? Because of the virus? Okay. So because of the immune response. Okay. The virus itself, when it came out from the cell, can kill the cell, but it's not too much. The cytotoxic T cell will kill the cell, will create inflammation, and the inflammation will induce tissue destruction. Okay. So the lethal cause is most of the time is inflammation, too intensive immune reaction. Okay, so that was the cytotoxic T cell. We need still 8 minutes to the helper T cell, and then we finish. 8 minutes is not so much, not so much. Don't kill yourself. So helper T cell. You know we have 4 different classes of helper T cell. You know the main function of it. For the second test, you must know the most important transcription factor. Okay. So the helper T cells start to express T-bed transcription factor. That's why differentiate to Th1. So just memorize this slide. It's not too good, not too hard. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to know the name of the receptors, right?
You must know this slide, letter to letter. It will be asked for sure. That's the summary slide of this part. We spoke about the follicular helper T cell. Follicular helper T cell can induce isotype switch to IgE, to IgA, to IgG. Can do one kind of cell can do it.
You are asking about T-cell.
Follicular helper T cell will induce the isotype switch. Okay? But it can induce a lot of different isotype switch, which means that we have different follicular helper T cell. So it's follicular helper T cell, but a Th1-like follicular helper T cell. We have Th2-like follicular helper T cell. This induces IgE. IgE is against parasites. Okay. This induces interferon gamma. Interferon gamma induces Th1 differentiation. Okay. So follicular helper T cell has subclasses according to the others.
The last slide that you said, TFH has the BCL6, so for all of them the BCL6
Has the BCL6, exactly. So this, focus only to this one. The Th1 cell, just to activate all the intracellular response. It's not so surprising that the Th1 cell can kill. It's expressed fast ligand and the bit cytotoxic. against intracellular pathogen, so it's good to kill. If it's able to kill. Okay. So 3 more minutes. Can you tell me the difference between M1 and M2 macrophages? What's the role of M1? The classical macrophages is M1. What's the role of M1? Inflammation, phagocytosis inflammation. What's the role of M2?
Anti-inflammatory.
Anti-inflammatory, tissue regeneration, and so on. M2 macrophages produce IL-10 and TGF-beta, which are immunosuppressive cytokines. Okay, and that's the last slide. What's the role of TH17? Produce interleukin 17 and
Interleukin 22.
and activate. Why is it good that it produces IL-17? Neutrophils against extracellular pathogens, activate the neutrophils. And the TH17 can produce IL-22. It's only in the intestinal tract to activate the epithelial cells to produce more antimicrobial peptide and to form more tight junction of the cells. So it's against extracellular pathogen not to get into the human body. Okay, so that's another function of the IL-7. So memorize this slide, yeah? Concerning the TH cells. You almost know everything. Yeah? 80% you know. So it's not so much. Okay, today is much. Okay, see you next week.